Hello, dear students. Welcome to a new lesson titled A Sound of Thunder, written by Ray Bradbury. Who was Ray Bradbury and what aspects of his life and period influenced his writing of speculative fiction? What is the butterfly effect? Have you ever thought of this? And how does it illustrate the idea that small actions can have significant consequences? How does the story explore the delicate balance of ecology and the interconnectedness of all living things? Can you explain the theme of responsibility and the importance of making thoughtful choices, especially when dealing with advanced technology? How does time travel in the story represent both opportunity and danger? Do you understand how the author uses foreshadowing and imagery to create suspense and emphasize the fragility of the natural world? Can you summarize Bradbury's message about humanity's role in protecting the environment and respecting the power of nature in your own words? Well, when we look at these points and questions, Ray Bradbury's story illuminates our brains. It makes us start think about the human beings, we being so responsible to protect this nature, and small things which we might consider to be less important would have bigger and larger impact on the balance of this nature. So the natural tendencies of human beings on the nature, which rotate and bring a sea change in the future, are the very essential elements being discussed in this lesson. Now, this lesson, A Sound of Thunder, written by Ray Bradbury, is a document to give us confidence. It is a very important roadmap to tell us our responsibility and the potential dangers which might come in the path of our future so as to protect the entire nature. What is the role of human beings? What should we do? Before we discuss all these points, it is necessary to know about Ray Bradbury. Who is he, by the way? And where was he born? Which country does he belong to? And when was he born? And when did he pass away? We have to explore all these points. Now I'm going to introduce Ray Bradbury. This is a biographical sketch of Ray Bradbury. You have to know the nitty gritty of his life. Once you understand what he was and how he thought about the philosophy of nature and the role of human beings, not in the country where he was born and brought up, across the globe, because we are the creators as well as destroyers. That we shouldn't forget. Let's get into Ray Bradbury's biography. Ray Bradbury, 1920 2012. He was a familiar and very, in the contemporary scenario, he was alive around 13 years ago. He was an American writer, best known for his works of science fiction. He wrote literature in the area called science fiction, fantasy, and horror. So, science fiction, fantasy, horror. Science fiction, fantasy, horror. These were the areas around which he viewed the web of literature. His imaginative and thought provoking stories often explore the themes of technology, censorship, and human nature. Technology, censorship, and human nature. He's imaginative and thought provoking. His ideas would instill confidence and would make us understand where we are and what we do for this nature. And it helps us understand our counters, COUNTERS, counters. I'd say, in other words, borders. We cannot use the entire space being available in this nature. We have our own limitations. We should be knowing to what extent we can go to explore this nature and how we can use and safeguard for the future. This is called sustainable development. Use now and make sure the same resource would be protected for the future generations. Do we have this concern for this nature? Ray Bradbury's works are very thought provoking. They make us start think about what we do and the potential dangers that might come in the future. Bradbury's writing is characterized by its poetic style. He writes in the poetry model, okay, and vivid imagery. He provides us complete picturesque description with his imagery in the sense we would imagine with the help of different descriptions, which will establish the thought process so as to understand the lively, the ongoing process that rolls down in the imagination with the help of picturesque description. Ray Bradbury provides complete information, and we will feel that we are as if in the same context and the situation. And a deep reflection on society's values and future. Society's values. He throws light on society's values. How are the present generations? If we make decisions about the nature and if we are concerned about this, what might happen in the future? And if we are not, and what are the potential dangers we might probably have to face? These issues, feature in this lesson a sound of thunder. And this lesson is from the textbook for intermediate first year students. And this is what is you want. You please have this book with you, page number 76. Those who are exploring this text and those who have this lesson being part of your either mid-sem or annual program of your academic schedule, please use this book and make use of the phrases being provided in this particular biography about the author and learn them. Well, his most famous works include Fahrenheit 451, a dystopian novel. What is meant by dystopian? Please take your book and write down this word Dystopian, dystopian. Let me give you some clarity on this. Dystopian. Dystopian refers to an imagined, often futuristic society characterized by or depicting a dehumanized, fearful existence, extreme oppression, or environmental ruin, often used in literature and film as the opposite of utopia. These settings feature totalitarian, bureaucratic, or corporate control, where individual freedoms are abolished and life is characterized by suffering. Key themes: government oppression, total surveillance, environmental disaster, or loss of individuality. Friends, dystopian novel highlights all these points. So, a very disastrous environmental status could be seen in dystopian novel, that is Fahrenheit 451, which was written by Ray Bradbury, about a future where books are banned, and Martian Chronicles. This is another work of his, a collection of short stories about humanity's colonization of Mars. Already, efforts to land on the Mars have begun. So we have been trying to explore to just colonize the Mars and go and live over there. It is understood the Earth has already been filled with the so many human beings and no space for us. So it's a good plan. But on the other side of the coin, have we been destroying the beauty of this nature? We need to think about this. Maybe he discusses all these points there. A collection of short stories about humanity's colonization of Mars. Bradbury's work, including A Sound of Thunder often examines how small actions can have profound consequences. Small actions have profound consequences. I'll give you one example. uh, People on Sundays might go out shopping and they buy ice creams, they bring chocolates and big wrappers, waffles, and they eat some processed food, um, boxed in the plastic trays and cans. All this is good, and they also don't carry any polythene bag, at least jute bag, let us say. They just depend on a polythene bag outside for every single purchase, which could definitely be a compulsive purchase, not the one which was planned earlier. They bring a lot of stuff, they eat. At the end of the day, they throw it out across the wall. They don't mind that that's the stuff which they have thrown would just live along with them in less than 1 feet distance, and that will never go anywhere, and that would always be there around the house. The plastic. Do we ever think this is small action can have a potential danger, and that would create imbalance, which is against the equilibrium status of this entire nature? We never think so. We need to understand. Example 2. We use two wheelers, three wheelers, as well as four wheelers. Earlier, having a vehicle was a sign of prestige, a sign of necessity, a sign of dignity, and mostly requirement. But these days, if the family members are four, each one of them has got one vehicle, both the two wheelers and four wheelers, and all are 60% of them are fuel based. And how about the emissions of chlorofluorocarbons? Everyone, whether it is necessary or not, they just keep going and bring something and they move elsewhere. There are two disadvantages. Number one, you are creating traffic problem outside for your unnecessary visit to your nearest city or town. Number two, you are also emitting a lot of smoke into the air. The smoke contains so many gaseous elements that all of us know. The smoke contains dangerous compounds of various carcinogenic elements and properties. Do you ever think so? The smoke is causing a lot of damage to the entire equilibrium status of this ecosystem. We always complain about the government policies and local bodies as they are not being responsible, and we never think about our responsibility. Friends, the two examples which I have given you would absolutely give the way and pave the way for the thinking as our responsibilities are more while we claim our rights as long as we live on this earth. Friends, let's get back to those points again when we discuss the lesson here. As he said, small actions can have profound consequences, urging readers to think critically about their choices and their impact on the world. He remains one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. Obviously, he would definitely be the influential writer because of his works, which would make all the people across the globe think critically, and the works, if they really read, would make them understand why they have to give importance to this environment and environmental degradation, which has already begun giving so much of a scope for damage. This damage cannot happen, as we have already found. The precipitation levels have changed, rainy seasons have disappeared, the patterns have completely been damaged. We have untimely rains, untimely sun radiation, untimely floods, and avalanches are falling down at some territories. If you look at India in the year 2025, we saw so many natural disasters. Friends, this lesson is very important, which will guide us and motivate us and make us believe that we have so much of responsibility to live. Care is very important. If we are careless, the nature would show its fury. If you are a fury, the consequences cannot be counted. So we cannot count the consequences later on. In Uttarkashi, all of a sudden, a big avalanche, along with what we can say, this year we experienced some rains. The rains were, cloud bursts. BURST, cloud burst was the new term which I came across. That was a very horrible experience for the people who had experienced it there due to cloud burst. Not only in Uttarkashi, even in China, as well as in some parts of Kerala. I think Wayanad, around 450 plus villages have been marooned, and a lot of dust with water. It's muck, the slushy part, the mud, or else the slushy, slushy substance in larger amounts with big boulders, big stones from the uphills, uplands. If that comes down in larger amounts, what happens? The low-lying areas where sheds as well as the small constructions, and the people who do not have, assured houses, and they have their own, places, all of them, including animals, have been swiped out. Be careful. This is about Ray Bradbury. Is it really interesting? If so, please watch this video again, share this video with your friends, and make sure that you would read this lesson completely. Of course, besides getting marks, you would also be equipped with so much of knowledge about how we should be careful to make decisions on the protection of environment. Thank you so much. Have a great day.